Dall-e 2, all you need to know. Dall-e 2 by OpenAI debuted at the beginning of the month, setting a new standard for image generation and manipulation. Dall-e 2 can generate new images that combine distinct and unrelated objects in semantically plausible ways using only a short text prompt. Dall-e 2 can also modify existing images, create image variations that retain their salient features, and interpolate between two input images. The impressive results of Dall-e 2 have many people wondering how such a powerful model works under the hood. In this video, we'll look at everything about Dall-e 2. Watch the video till the end and remember to subscribe for more. Here we begin! Dall-e 2 is OpenAI's newest AI model. It's the latest version of Dall-e, a generative language model that generates original images based on sentences. Dall-e 2 is a large model with 3.5B parameters, but not nearly as large as GPT-3 and interestingly, smaller than its predecessor, 12B. Despite its size, Dall-e 2 generates 4 times higher resolution images than Dall-e and is preferred by human judges in caption matching and photorealism plus 70% of the time. OpenAI did not release Dall-e 2 as they did with Dall-e. They did, however, open source Clip, which, while only indirectly related to Dall-e, serves as a foundation for Dall-e 2. So how does it work? Dall-e 2's 4 key high-level concepts are as follows. The first model is Clip, which takes image caption pairs and generates mental representations in the form of vectors known as text or image embeddings. The prior model generates clip images embeddings from a caption or clip text embedding. The decoder diffusion model or unclip generates images from a clip image embedding. Dall-e 2 is a prior plus diffusion decoder or unclip model combination. Dall-e 2 is an example of a two-part model composed of a prior and a decoder. We can convert a sentence to an image by concatenating both models. That is how we communicate with Dall-e 2. We enter a sentence into the black box which produces a well-defined image. It's worth noting that the decoder is called unclip because it reverses the original clip model's process. Instead of creating a mental representation or embedding from an image, it creates an original image from a generic mental representation. People, animals, objects, styles, colors, backgrounds, and so on are encoded in the material representation so that Dall-e 2 can generate a novel image that retains these characteristics while varying the non-essential features. Let's understand the working step by step. It's now time to go each of the preceding steps individually. First, let's start with how Dall-e 2 learns to connect related textual and visual abstractions. First step, integrating textual and visual semantics. Dall-e 2 produces the following image after entering a teddy bear riding a skateboard in Times Square source. Dall-e 2 understands how a textual concept like teddy bear manifests in visual space. Clip, another OpenAI model, learns the link between textual semantics and their visual representations in Dall-e 2, contrastive language image pre-training. Clip is trained on hundreds of millions of images and captions to determine how much a text snippet is related to an image. Instead of attempting to predict a caption based on an image, Clip simply learns how related any given caption is to an image. Clip can learn the link between textual and visual representations of the same abstract object using the contrastive rather than predictive objective. The entire Dall-e 2 model depends on Clip's ability to learn semantics from natural language. Clip training. The basic principles of clip training are quite simple. First, all images and captions are routed to their respective encoders, which map all objects into an m-dimensional space. The cosine similarity of each image-text pair is then calculated. The training goal is to maximize the cosine similarity between n correct encoded image or caption pairs while simultaneously minimizing the cosine similarity between n2 or n incorrect encoded image or caption pairs. Clip is important to Dall-e 2 because it ultimately determines how semantically related a natural language snippet is to a visual concept, which is essential for text conditional image generation. Step 2. Creating images using visual semantics. The Clip model is frozen after training, and Dall-e 2 moves on to the next task of learning to reverse the image encoding mapping that Clip just learned. Clip learns a representation space in which the relatedness of textual and visual encodings is easily determined, but our interest is in image generation. This image generation is carried out by OpenAI using a modified version of another of its previous models, Glide. To stochastically decode clip image embeddings, the Glide model learns to invert the image encoding process. The goal is not to create an autoencoder that precisely reconstructs an image given its embedding, but rather to generate an image that retains the salient features of the original image given its embedding. Glide employs a diffusion model to generate these images. What is a diffusion model? Diffusion models are thermodynamics-inspired inventions that have gained much traction in recent years. Diffusion models learn to generate data by reversing the process of gradual noise. The figures depicted the noising process as a parameterized Markov chain that gradually adds noise to an image to corrupt it, eventually resulting in pure Gaussian noise. To reverse this process, the diffusion models learn to navigate backwards along its chain, gradually removing noise over a series of timestamps. After training, the diffusion model can be cut in half and used to generate an image by randomly sampling Gaussian noise and then denoising it to produce a photorealistic image. While Glide was not the first diffusion model, it made an important contribution by modifying them to allow for text conditional image generation. It is worth noting that diffusion models begin with randomly sampled Gaussian noise. Glide expands on the core concept of diffusion models by supplementing the training process with additional textual data, resulting in text conditional image generation. Glide is important to Dall-e 2 because it allowed the authors to easily port over Glide's text-conditional photorealistic image generation capabilities to Dall-e 2 by conditioning on image encodings in the representation space rather than text-conditional photorealistic image generation capabilities. As a result, the modified Glide in Dall-e 2 learns to generate semantically consistent images based on clip image encodings. Step 3. Converting textual semantics into corresponding visual semantics. While the modified Glide model generates images that accurately reflect the semantics captured by image encodings, how do we get the text conditioning data from our prompt into the image generation process? Dall-e 2 employs a different model, dubbed the prior by the authors, to map from the text encodings of image captions to the encodings of their corresponding images. The authors of Dall-e 2 experiment with both autoregressive models and diffusion models for the prior, but ultimately find that they produce comparable results. The diffusion of prior training prior is a decoder-only transformer in Dall-e 2. It operates on an ordered sequence, the tokenized text or caption, the clip text encodings on these tokens, and the clip text encodings on these tokens using a casual attention mask. In addition, the noised image was passed through the clip image encoder as an encoding for the diffusion timestamp. The transformer's output predicts the unnoticed clip image encoding in the final. Step 4. Put it all together. We now have all of Dall-e 2's functional components and only need to combine them to generate text conditional images. The clip text encoder begins by mapping the image description into the representation space. The diffusion then maps from the clip text encoding to the clip image encoding. Finally, the modified Glide generation model reverse diffuses from the representation space into the image space, producing one of many possible images that convey the semantic information contained in the input caption. Is Dall-e 2 available to the general public? Previously, Dall-e 2 access was restricted and there was a lengthy waiting list. However, in September 2022, access was open so anyone could sign up for Dall-e 2. What is the cost of using Dall-e 2? Is Dall-e 2 available for free? That is, until July when OpenAI began using a credit-based model. New Dall-e 2 users receive 50 free credits which they can use to generate, edit, or create an image variation. Following that, users will receive 15 Dall-e 2 credits each month. To obtain additional credits, you must pay $15 for 115 credits, enough to generate 460 1024 by 1024 pixel images. Artists who need financial assistance are encouraged to apply for subsidized access through OpenAI. So what do you think about Dall-e 2? Let us know in the comment section below and subscribe for more.